Welcome, everybody, to Bad Bitches on the Bad Batch. I'm Arzu from the Geeky Waffle and RZD2.com, and with me...
I'm Candace, also from the Geeky Waffle.
I'm Maggie from Your Money Geek, and let's talk about Star Wars.
Hello, I'm Norhol from Twitter.
I'm Alden from iHeartRadio, Octo Radio, and the One and Done Film Club.
Hi, I'm Jerry the Canon Junkie from probably random places online and stuff, but mainly the Bombadcast.
And
All right.
that was fire.
Yeah.
I was about to say that exact thing, Alden. Thank you. That is
like,
that slaps so hard.
I felt like the Dark Troopers were coming in. It was like the same vibe.
Yeah.
I shall
They're
take
busting
praise.
down my door as I speak.
Yes,
so,
it's all
great.
Candace. What is a live
Candace.
stream without kicking it off with a little nightmarish music?
It's not
Like-
nightmarish.
Alden said Dark Troopers, and now that's all I'm going to think of.
Okay,
But
fine.
I love
Hey.
the clips. I love the clips.
I'll take nightmarish party music all day.
That's true. That's
Oh, yeah.
very true.
Okay, on topic.
Are we going to dance?
Okay, coming back. So we are talking about episodes 5 and 6 tonight. So episode 5, Rampage. Episode 6, Decommission. So let's kick things off with the Bad Batch on Ord Mantell. They are looking for somebody named Sid, who is not, as the tangent I went on last week, Rex, with the mental connections that nobody else made.
I like those though. I like them.
Yeah, they were good.
I like the way you were. I like the way you were thinking.
This is a journey. It's a journey. It's fine.
So,
Right. So,
Ord Mantell, Jerry,
Nice.
something called to you about the the skyline of the city.
yeah, just the kind of the way that the city is set up. You know, it's got the central Moscow Palace thing. I guess I don't know. Like it just looks like very Russian, but it's very reminiscent of. And I had to look up the name of the planet because I'm a good canon junkie.
Russia.
Yes, it is Mother Russia. Exactly. No. What did I say in the chat? Dakota or something? It gives me like vibes from Rebels whenever they're looking for the children who the Inquisitors are after, the Force sensitive children.
Right.
I'm having to look up that right now. Takobo. Thank you. But it just if you look back at that screenshot go back and look at that shot of the city as they're coming in, it looks very similar to that. But I don't know. I love how Ord Mantell is something that has been in Star Wars mentioned for a long time. And I've been thinking about it a lot because, we've talked, there's a lot of Han Solo stuff out right now, but that bounty hunter we ran into in Ord Mantell, I'm living for some Ord Mantell love right now. So
Yeah.
So is this the first time we're seeing Ord Mantell? Because I haven't seen any of the comics, so I don't know.
I'm not caught up.
Hmm.
I am not caught up on the arc before Empire of the Star Wars mainline. So you guys will have to. I don't know if you guys will.
Yeah, to my recollection, this is the first time. Although there's the occasional thing that there's like a location in the inciting incident, and then they go to the main place. Like, there are arcs that I've only read once, like Screaming Citadel. So it's very possible that it was in something. But
I think we saw it in Son of Dathomir.
oh,
Okay.
Son of
yeah,
Dathomir,
Okay.
yeah.
I got to reread
formerly
that a little bit.
The last thing
It
that
was-
was canon from Dark Horse.
Yeah.
It was also in Forces of Destiny.
Forces
Oh, that's
Oh.
Right.
right.
Oh,
She
yeah,
gets
I
the
forgot about that.
Bausch armor
Right,
from
right.
Ord Mantell, right?
Yeah. This is where she goes to see Mama Maz and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mama Maz. I don't know if that.
Mama
It's
that's too
also
much.
in the High Republic Avengers 4. So,
Oh.
but this is the
dropping
first time.
knowledge.
Beautiful.
Featured right here.
Thank you.
I've
Nice.
read that, I think.
I'm gonna have to go and get all this
Hmm.
this stuff because I'm just absolutely loving this Ord
All the
Mantell.
connections. This is amazing.
It's so
Jerry,
good.
be a-
and it's like
Be a
every
canon
time
junkie
now.
about it.
Yeah, now every
This-
time that we see a scene on there, I'm thinking, are you the reference from Empire? Is it Sid? Is it the Ithorian
Yes!
hanging out in the bar? Is it any of these people? Is it Fennec Shand that they ran into? As they're referencing an Empire, so-
Oh,
Boom.
my god! Oh my
Alden.
god!
Boom.
Alden, I think you just cracked it, my man.
I don't care if
What
that's
if-
not what happened. That I've decided that's what's happened.
It's
What
canon.
if it
It's
shows?
canon.
What if they show up? Whoever? What? If, you think we'll find out in War of the Bounty Hunters? So this is way off topic.
I could see that for sure because I mean
Very
it's
much the arc.
teed up right there for. Well, no, it wouldn't be because that's post Empire.
It's happened already.
Right, but
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
like maybe like someone who comes in, is like,
someone
I
says
was,
it? Yeah.
someone like references to
For
it or
sure,
something.
because I 100% think Fennec's coming in there. Because if you
oh yeah,
if you lead with Dirge and then you reveal what they just revealed this week, saving it just in case anyone's watching that doesn't know, then you have to have surprises that are going to be impactful for issues 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, that event's going all the way to
yeah.
October, so it's got to
Wait, when did they reveal Dirge?
Dirge.
It was a
in
while
the,
back, like a cover,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
so he's
Yeah.
not
Oh,
in
like
the.
the issue hasn't come out yet.
The issue's not out yet. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
cover for an Afra War of the Bounty Hunters
Got it.
that's coming up.
I forgot about that, but also you've really got to think like you can't do this. We've got Boba very prominently. You've got to have a little bit of Bonnick. I'm sorry, or
Yes, you
Bonnick.
do.
Yes,
Bonnick.
Gary.
Excuse me. Bonnick. Is Bonnick or let's just go
Bonnick.
with Bonnick because that's more family friendly.
How did
You
it
know
not
what it is?
become Boba
It's
Fett?
this.
Because
Oh
Arzu
man.
and I, okay, so this is the history. Arzu and I were like
What did I
the
do?
first two people that were like, that's a ship.
Opened
And then
it.
everybody was trying to make other names happen. And I was like,
Mhm.
no, the one that Arzu came up with, that is the ship name. That is the one going into all of my articles. That's the one that is the ship
The
name
worst
that was mentioned in the
Hell
article.
yeah.
That Mignaw retweeted. Like it is.
Hey, Norhall and I were there too, shipping it as well.
No,
Yes.
you were absolutely there shipping
Yes,
it.
you were.
Hey,
Yeah,
this is a
don't
geeky.
deny
This is
our
a geeky
shipping.
waffle. This is a geeky
No, this
waffle that like this was an original for all you guys for sure. So
It
No, that's
Our
originated
endeavor.
for real.
in our group chat.
My
It was our group
respect.
chat.
My respect to you all. Thank you.
We're like,
think
do you
for
see
your
the
hard
way they
work.
look at each other?
Our,
Yeah.
our
Eh.
group chat became the Bonnick Stan Club for like a couple weeks. Like that's what it was called.
Can I join officially? How do you join? Do you have to? Is there?
Welcome
is there
to
like
the Stan
a?
Club.
Welcome. You have
You're
your
in.
Welcome.
I didn't know if there was like an initiation or something, but I've got this
You have
tiny
to
little
eat a lot of
Boba
waffles.
thing.
Not that they can put on air right now, but we'll get to
You
it.
have
Yeah,
to eat
that's
a lot of
after.
waffles.
I will eat a lot of waffles. Yeah, they involve probably some conversations we were having before this. So I'm just
Yeah,
kidding. I'm
yeah.
just kidding. I'm joking.
Something
Yeah.
for waffles after dark.
A whole Bonnick episode.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So,
All right, so
Bad
dialing it
Batch,
back
right?
to Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Vaguely related because
Off topic.
Fennec Shand. So they go to Ord Mantell to find out who Fennec Shand is, and they're looking for somebody named Sid. And they go to the bar, and this Trandoshan lady's like, "Sid's not here," and the guys are like, "Well, I guess Sid's not here." And then Omega's like, alternatively, Sid's right there.
Let us not forget at moments like that when the men just seem utterly useless, they have 100% mission completion in the entire Clone Wars. They've never
Right.
failed. But now that there is no war, they're like, guess she's not here. Like they're
What are we
so
doing?
useless without
Yeah.
their war and without their commands. Like that just being guys, like that's what I loved about these episodes is it's the transition into just being a group of people, not
Yes.
Clone Force 99.
Well,
I hadn't even
think-
considered that they don't know how to call the shots anymore because they don't have a specific objective in
Because
mind.
they were always just dropped in to annihilate
Yeah.
threats or save people or
Somebody else said, "This is what you're doing. Go do it," but
yeah.
they don't know anymore.
Like there
The
was
only one-
Republic intelligence for a reason. And
Yeah.
now it's
the only
like
one who seems good at like actually coming up with plans is Echo.
Because
like-
Echo's
Yeah.
got
I can see
The
that.
reg,
Yeah.
like
And
it's really interesting
yeah.
that it seems like the reg training in him makes him better at actually planning things and not just dropping in and being like, ha ha ha, I'm really good at fighting.
yeah.
I think that's also him
Yeah.
like, learning from Rex and like Anakin too.
Oh
like
yeah.
he was part of the 501st. They did things a lot differently, and
Yeah.
Anakin treated them like people and asked them for their opinion on things and
Right.
stuff like
And
that.
also Echo
Oh, yeah.
elevated from regular trooper to ARC trooper, which
Mhm.
is, has
Yes.
reconnaissance in it. Like he's used to information gathering. He's not a blunt instrument.
And like obviously it's the same voice for all of the clones, but I felt like in today's episode you hear a lot of like Rex style vocal traits in Echo when he's being like, this is what we're doing.
Yes.
Which I think is really interesting in how D does these voices.
Yeah.
It's like the
Absolutely.
training coming through.
Like when he's like training Omega, especially. I really hear a lot of Rex in there. Just like, it's very firm, but also very loving. And that's what I kind of
Which is
loved
Rex.
about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like
Oh, God.
Rex
Reminded-
and Rex
I
and
miss
Snips.
Rex.
I miss him so
Yeah.
much.
I'm so ready for him to come back.
Rex training.
Where's
love
Rex? I love him so much.
Oh, man. Rex stands for life, too. I'm sorry. That's me.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, we're all on that.
We're big
on
Rex
board
We're
with
in
that,
good.
too.
We're in good.
We
We're
are
in good.
giant Rex fans.
Yeah, we love him.
So Sid tells them that she will give them information on the condition that they go get a kid back from some bounty hunters. Fails to disclose who this kid is, but that's not an issue for right the second. They're like, cool, we'll go do the thing. And there's, I guess, Zygerian slavers that they have to face. And this is so they're planning their mission and tell Omega to stay behind, which I was very surprised to find she did actually stay behind. At least at
right?
first.
She listens, yeah.
Sometimes.
But she's
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But she's not. Yeah, not in like a I'm just I'm gonna do whatever you say because I don't know how to do things. But just oh man, yeah. Good for her though. Good for her listening this time.
I'm glad they taught her some rules. Like
Yeah, to keep
don't
her
talk to
safe.
strangers, only talk to your squad.
Yeah.
Here's how you use a cell phone.
It's
Yeah,
also
the-
about like there's also that
The calm.
ongoing like Star Wars thing of rules, but how much breath is there within the rule? Like the minute that they left her there on the ship and she started her side quest of the episode, it was back to Anakin and Phantom Menace. Qui-Gon said, "Stay in this ship."
Right.
He didn't break that rule.
Right.
It's about bending things and leeway, and that's something that all Star Wars characters sort of have to learn to do at certain points. I mean, that's what we've seen so much. I mean, there's a lot of parallels between this and Mandalorian with their storytelling, of course, with parenting, but it's like that too. Like with Din, like, oh, I'm taking off my helmet is breaking the rules, but also the foundlings are the future is also one of our tenets. So don't you have to break one to uphold the other?
God, I love that wrestling with that for sure. Absolutely. I was sometimes I feel like I'm being a little like, oh, as the dad, but like, I will say the dad batch, as they have been called by some people, are some of the best dads I've seen in Star Wars besides Din Djarin. Honestly, like the Din's a little more like reluctant, but just the way they don't give bad, like Maggie, like you're saying, they're teaching her good things. They're saying, no.
They're trying.
They say
They're learning.
good.
Trying.
Yeah.
There's not negative
Jerry?
reinforcement.
For
Jerry,
soldiers.
how dare you forget about Kanan?
Seriously, that's why I was like,
Oh,
Kanan is a good
No,
guy.
Kanan's a good- well, Kanan's a
he's
good
out
one
of the
too.
club. He's out of the Waffle Club. Sorry.
What about Bail or
We
Gon?
reject your mentorship.
Sorry, guys.
Okay,
let's
Bail.
go there.
Bail is a
No
great
Bail or Ron
father.
erasure here.
Bail, yeah.
Bale's
What
pretty
about
good.
what about
I'm looking at
Malakili?
dad match right now.
I will
Oh,
say the clones
his
are the
kid got killed
youngest
on his watch, though.
fathers.
I'm just,
That's true. The
true.
clones are like what? 13 years old?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're the
They're
youngest
teen
dads. They're teen fathers.
That's why they need to have. That's why they need to have a handful of them because
That's
I mean that's why you needed someone like Cut to in the previous episodes to set him up to just be like, hey, like you're not going to be able to just handle this the way you've handled everything else. It's different.
I agree.
I feel like
So-
maybe
Charlie,
that's why
that's
the
incredible.
batch feel like big brothers to me anyway. Not Echo. Echo
Yeah.
does feel like
They
he's like, here's how you
technically
fire
are
a gun and
kind
here's
of-
how a phone works. But the other guys are like big brothers who are like they mean
They
well
sort of
and they are
have
helping,
that.
but they're
Yeah.
causing a lot of trouble as well.
There's enough
Mm-hmm.
room for them to sort of be what the scripts need them to be, which is smart.
right.
And what's all Star Wars stories, it's it's said like it's about family, and that's what makes it like we've all heard it. It's all oftentimes found family. This is the first time where your found family shares blood with you, and so that allows like your found family is literally the family you should
Wow.
be with. Like she's
Except
not.
Luke
I
and
didn't
Leia.
really think about that. Wow.
Yeah.
That is really,
Except all the
he is
Luke and
blood
Leia.
family.
Come on.
Well, Luke and Leia. Well, the internet told me that George had a perfect plan, so I'm not going to bring up the fact that they weren't siblings until the third movie. But,
It's almost as like I agree with the kind of big brother aspect a little bit, but in a way they're almost like an attribute. Each of them represents an attribute of kind of what a what a dad is sometimes as well. And I've even made the connection that it's a little like Bad Batch is a little bit like Full House in Nazi Germany. I don't know if you saw that. Like it's
That's
like
not wrong.
What?
because you've got Hunter. It's
You
like
had
Hunter.
me in the
It's my
first half.
four dads. My four dads.
They
Well,
had me in the
it's
first
Hunter.
half, not
Hunter
gonna lie.
seems like Hunter is the Danny Tanner. Okay.
Yes.
And then you've got Uncle Jesse, and you've got like more uncles than there are in the.
Well, Wrecker is
Full
for
House.
sure Joey.
Echo is Danny Tanner.
Eke-
But where did
I-
Germany?
I can
come
see
into
that.
this?
But
This is what
I
you
think,
have.
okay, this
Because
is
of the
this is where my
fascist
weird
government taking
brain,
over.
Oh,
this is where my weird brain goes. I'm
Not he's
sorry.
not
Sorry,
referencing
Maggie.
a Full House in Nazi Germany. He's referencing
no,
this is
no.
like Full House.
This is a sitcom.
Okay, yeah, I was lost.
I took that very literally, and I was like, Jerry,
I'm
what
sorry.
kind of B like F-rated television do you
No,
watch?
My great italicized thing
Clearly,
that I think
clearly,
really did
I was a white kid in the '90s who watched a ton of Full House.
I
right?
grew
mean,
up on
come
the Full House. I still watch it.
No.
Oh, I
Maggie
still love-
completely misunderstood your sentence.
I thought you were saying that there was a Full House in Nazi Germany. And I was like, wow, was that what?
A Full House.
Yeah,
a
you
Full
didn't
House
know
of
that.
fascists.
The Full
The
House
sitcom
with
punch,
Bob
the Full
Saget as a
House.
remake.
Against the backdrop
Is
of
that
a fascist
remake?
government.
Here's what I thought. I was
That's
like,
what
was
it
this
is.
Yes.
what Full House was based on?
Yeah, it was actually called Führer House. And,
Oh my God.
and thank you.
Yes, thank you. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Yes,
Cheers.
okay.
Tip your waiters.
It's not shocking to anybody.
Hey, Lauren.
I agree with Brandon. I think Hunter is Uncle Jesse. Circling
Got
the
same
back
hair.
of the sitcom. I feel like he's Uncle Jesse.
I'm down with
Yeah.
that. I'm down
Yeah.
with that for sure.
While we're getting really tangential, I just want Jerry to know that I am in fact wearing my blurgs. I just want you to know.
Oh hell yeah, girl! Again, I say yeah. I appreciate your commitment for real.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice.
You're welcome.
That's
You're
good stuff.
welcome. Yeah, we're not Adam Lance Garcia here. We like the blurgs. So that's
When
that's
will
a
the
reference.
blurgs show
Charlie.
up in the?
Charlie, Uncle Jesse died.
No!
Oh, where's the-
Charlie, come on.
Shut up, Charlie! How dare you?
Seriously.
Love
Oh no! Oh, Maggie left. Oh
Love
no!
'em.
That was too much.
No, Charlie. Not
Oh,
okay.
I'm the one. I opened up this can of worms. I'm sorry.
Let's move on from this can of worms right into the can of trouble. Smooth segue that the Bad Batch get themselves into,
I liked it.
which is they are trying to free this Muchi person that they're after and immediately get captured by the Zagarians.
Immediately.
Oh yeah.
So fast.
Sorry, I just
still.
really hate the Zygerians. I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
love to hate them. They're the best. They're the best villains in Star Wars to absolutely like every time they come on screen,
They're-
just like
But we also
effing hate
also
you.
have the sweetest boy
Oh boy,
named
here it comes.
Fazala
Here it comes.
in
It's
the High
true.
Republic.
I'm sorry. I apologize. You're absolutely correct.
I was
Jerry
that
hates
character's
Clone
Wars
very
and
first
Zagarians.
fan.
Look, you want to
I'm
know why
talking
I
the
like
ones that we've seen in
Zygerians?
Clone Wars.
I don't.
The
I'm
slavery. I
not
don't
saying
like
that
slavery.
Zygerian slavery is okay. So I don't want to. I don't want to see any clickbait after this stream.
You're good.
But here's
Alden
here's what I'm
Diaz
saying.
said on the Geek Waffle.
Here's what I am
Slavery is
saying.
Clip this out.
Zygerians, looking dead into the camera, Zygerians look just like Captain Amelia from Treasure Planet, who is a
Yes, they do.
10.
They do.
So
Yes,
as long
they
as I
do.
can think about her, then we're good.
You know, I
Oh,
kind of see
cool.
Treasure Planet as like that's happening in wild space, honestly. Disney, give us the connection.
Jim
Come on, let's just
Hawkins.
have that happening.
Just do
It can
it.
happen. It's very
Flavor is
it's-
good.
This man is English
That's-
coming after me for war crimes and atrocities.
this week on
Really?
the Imperial Senate podcast, Alden Diaz thinks slavery's great.
No, I
Oh,
don't go
no.
on the show anymore.
Yeah.
I'm pulling something
Not
up just
after
for
this.
you.
Oh,
Look at her. Look at her.
man. Look at her.
That
Look
is
at those
100%. That is 100%. 100%
You know
is
what that is?
Zygerian. 100%.
That is High Republic era Zygerian.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Look at
Was
that.
it-
It looks
was it-
like.
Wasn't there a captain in one of the books that was Zygerian? If I'm remembering correctly, it's been a while since I've read the novels that I have read.
Possibly, I don't recall. But.
Sure, I've got the children's book that has the dude who looks like Jarl Poof or whoever it is with the floaty head, the long neck, who looks like
Oh yeah.
If in the children's book, it's a little funny. He's like
The High Republic one?
Oh no, he's got a weird face. There's a High Republic book that talks about the Great Hyperspace Disaster.
Yeah, the one
It's called The Jedi. Yeah, I've read it to my
Yeah.
kid actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
about people dying and stuff. Yeah, it's a
Oh my
great
God.
bedtime story.
It's
Yeah.
a great book.
It's so
It
cute.
is
a really good
it's
book.
really good. It's illustrated beautifully. So anyway,
That book helped me get into Light of the Jedi because I had a hard time starting with that one.
Ooh. It definitely helped me visualize more of it. But
Yeah.
this is about to become a High Republic pod. Or
All right, so
YouTube
circling
stream
it
or something.
back.
Circling
Let's
right.
bring it back because we said we had stuff to talk about. So let's bring it back. The boys immediately end up captured by the Zygerians. Echo loses his personhood once again, which I think either needs to come up at some point or else I'm going to have a problem with it because we cannot keep playing off Echo losing his personhood like it's a joke, considering his backstory.
Thank you.
So this is
Thank you for
my
saying
little
it.
my little mini soapbox. I don't know. What
I
the
feel
rest
the
of you think.
same way.
Yeah. I this might be unfounded. I think it will. I think it might. Because Dave doesn't seem to like let little things like that. Like it seems like he wants to really pull at our heartstrings. And that is some grade A trauma right there, for real, with him.
Yes.
With people treating him as lesser and things like that. You know, obviously
It's
because
a double hitter, 2 episodes in
Yeah.
a row.
But is Dave like writing? Like he's overseeing it, but he's not.
I mean, he
like,
co-wrote
I
the
don't
first
know.
screenplay. He gets, from my understanding, it's sort of like Dave has like script approval, like things go across his desk. Like
Yeah.
they're not allowed to make, like they couldn't kill any of these guys without him. You know, they couldn't do things
Right.
like that. So it's Dave, and it's not just like Resistance was. You know, like Dave created Resistance.
This
That
is
was came
the-
from his love of like Robotech and stuff, but then he
Uh-huh.
let
These
the
are the
people
same
sort of-
showrunners, right?
Uh,
Resistance?
Well, the
Is it Justin Ridge?
Jennifer
Athena
Corbett
executive
and-
produced, and then I
no?
think
Justin Ridge.
Corbett wrote on Resistance.
Okay.
I don't know I don't know if Ridge is on it, but I'd have to check. But yeah, I mean, I in terms of that whole point, I think that it is a slow burn in terms of a lot of things. Like everybody sort of has like an order that things are happening, right? So like so far, Tech has no arc. And as a Tech fan, I'm fine with that. Like right now, he's Wikipedia because this could be someone's first Star Wars show, you know? So he has to be
Right.
there to say things like they have a hierarchical system of aggression and you have to, so important functionally. I think that the Wrecker stuff, as we see in Decommissioned, that's coming to a head. Hunter has the most slow burn
Literally.
arc. Yes,
Yeah.
literally.
Stop hitting that guy
Crosshair.
in the head. I'm sorry. Stop hitting him in the
Wrap
head.
him in bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Crosshair,
He's
like,
got a
hasn't been
helmet on.
around.
Come on.
Yes.
We already
Sorry.
know those trooper
I'm
helmets do not do
They're
anything.
useless. They're useless.
Yeah,
Need a
they keep.
faster one.
We know that Django has a problem with hitting his head on stuff apparently, which they put into the Attack of the Clones, and now the troopers aren't even clones. Go on, Alden. I'm sorry.
No. I was just saying, like, I think that ultimately, like, the Echo stuff is going to be seeded. I think that it's important to know that,
No.
like, nobody that he has a truly deep relationship with is here yet. If Rex
Yeah.
shows up and they
Yeah.
don't have a talk, then that to me will be a little bit like, what are you doing? But I think
hope
that for
they have
now,
some
it's
conversation.
Oh, I'm
If
holding
Echo
out
and
for
Rex
that.
do not have like a solo scene together, I will
You
I
will all
be
be able to hear me
displeased.
screaming.
I will be
Yeah.
displeased on Twitter.
That maybe that's where we finally have like maybe Rex validates his personhood and kind of helps him out. Like what,
Yeah.
like say, dude, what happened
Yeah.
to you was messed up.
because it's like
And-
we can
I'm sorry,
we can
I
act
like-
like
Yeah.
we can act like, you know, it's the Bad Batch, like the five of them. It's not.
No.
Like Echo is so brand new. Yes, he got the cool new armor before they met Caleb, but it's
Coolest
you know,
helmet too.
and the coolest helmet. But Anakin and that final adventure in season 7 was like weeks before the war was over. You know, so he's only been with them for a matter of missions. So it
That's
just
not a
seems like
few
know.
months. Because like
Yeah.
Padme is like so pregnant. Enough pregnant
Yeah.
that Anakin did
She's-
not notice.
But we did.
We all did. Man.
Anakin,
is just a little dumb.
In
Oh,
fairness,
yeah.
in fairness to Anakin, he was an immaculate conception baby. So I think if anyone's allowed to not know how anything works,
Okay, that's
How
it's
dare-
him.
No one.
How
Well,
the Force
how many
and the
pregnant
beast-
Jedi do you see? I was just gonna say in the
That
Jedi
too.
Temple. I mean, I
Nobody-
think they're a little sheltered.
Nobody has to talk with them.
Nobody talks
You don't
of
think-
them.
There's no
about
Jedi
the
I mean,
No,
Force.
because-
I think they might
About
tell
the
them.
Force
Just let
and
us
the-
know. Let
Because
us
if anybody
know.
was gonna have the talk with them, it would have been Qui-Gon, and he's dead.
Obi-Wan could have the talk with them.
Obi-Wan could have the talk. He could be like, "Hey, you know that thing that some people do?"
Obi-Wan.
I definitely didn't do.
Obi-Wan
Never.
has
I've
not-
never done that.
Obi-Wan has
I will say-
not touched another human being since he was 15.
Okay, wait. Okay, if we go with the Corky
I don't know.
Kenobi theory,
Like,
that
from
From
means
what we've
that
seen,
Obi-Wan has no idea how babies are made either.
Corky
Because he probably
Kenobi.
got that girl
Coming-
pregnant.
coming from a very conservative Christian background, originally, I will say,
Hey, me too.
possible. Hey, high fives. Boop. It's kind of, it's possible to be very dumb and very also.
Didn't you all
hot
see
and
Bridgerton?
all this, like good at your
Yeah,
job.
but like, don't you think that like this entire organization that is founded on the "please don't have sex and have babies" thing would be like, this is sex.
Huh?
Don't do it.
They can
you
have
die.
sex.
You will get chlamydia and die. Like,
Hey,
you don't think
George,
they would
they
have
can
that
have-
conversation?
George Lucas
Like
himself
Mean
said.
Girls.
Jedi fuck.
They can have sex.
Yes, George Lucas himself said Jedi. They do. They fuck. Yeah.
They can
Language,
have
y'all.
sex
Language.
because
Language.
Sorry.
Silence.
yeah,
I was just quoting a tweet.
Jorah Malley, told
We have
Reed
our two. It's PG-13. That's okay.
that they have sex, and Rael Avaros from Master and Apprentice,
Like,
he's
they-
done it a bunch. So
We
Some
know
of them do it a
Obi.
bunch.
We know Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah.
Did it a
well,
bunch.
because Qui-Gon and Shmi were getting it on.
Oh, they totally. And
When
they're like,
all
That's
day?
understandable.
You guys know how much sex happens off screen in Star Wars? I mean,
so much.
it's a family.
I'm so
It's a
here
family
for Qui-Gon
show.
and Shmi, but when did they have time?
It was a few days
It was
after
a
he
few-
How
took
many
his blood
days were they on
sample.
there?
Wait, y'all.
At
y'all,
least a couple
y'all.
nights because you see two nightfalls.
We got it. We
Wait.
got it.
Wait. One more thing. Kanan got Hera pregnant too. He doesn't know about birth control
I
or anything
did.
like that.
Well, Kanan had been around.
What is up
Kanan
with
saw
these
life.
Jedi? I just okay. As a
No,
as
Kanan
a
knows a
someone-
thing or two.
Kanan,
Yeah.
Kanan might have a bunch of
That's
Force
true.
babies out there.
Here,
Oh,
May
Kanan,
not know about.
I'm sure there are. That's how they keep populating. They like let them go sow their wild seeds, and then they're like, "Oh, would you look at that?
Oh,
There's
no,
this
Wait.
force sensitive
And by
child."
the way, I would just like to point
More
out
Jedi.
that
Wait.
Kanan got the job done by seeing what he was doing through the Force. He couldn't even actually see what he was doing. And
You
he
don't
still
need
got the
to
job
see what
done.
you're doing all then.
So
Probably helps though.
I'm just saying.
Consider this.
I think the Jedi need better sex education. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just think they need
Consider
better sex
this-
education. Not that
this-
it's not there.
This concept.
Okay.
Jedi that have like sown their wild seeds,
Yes.
and then they end up with that child as their Padawan.
Like in Duke of Jedi Lost.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
I need that. I need more of that. Like,
Where's the love
oh,
child of
look at that.
Dooku and Jocasta?
Guys, the
Somewhere
Jedi
in the
Order was
temple.
so
Yeah.
scandalous, and it is so. There's so many parallels to like Christianity and different religions like that.
Catholic
Like
Church.
when they get like involved with the government and things.
So
like
many.
Kanan knocked up a
It's-
bar girl and left. I have read a New Dawn more than once. How did I miss this?
I missed
He
this
was-
too.
He was drunk.
I missed that too.
that. He was kind of deadbeat there, but he came back around. It's okay.
Where's
right?
that baby? I want that story.
I,
don't-
yeah.
I think that might be headcanon Hope because I do not remember that either.
Hope,
And-
please
Well-
elaborate.
Or is she
Yeah.
implying that because he was drinking and carousing when he was sad that
we
he just
assume
like
he knocked up a bar girl.
he's probably knocked
Yeah.
up somebody.
Yeah, like it's cliche.
The moral of the story is
Hey,
Wrath
Star
of the
Wars-
Priest, tap it.
Star Wars can get pretty steamy, and I will say it here now.
It's
Hunter,
not
this is-
only touching
this
fingers.
is- This is no, it's not. This is canon, by the way. What I'm about to say is canon. Hunter
I'm listening.
has a higher body count, if you know what I mean, than any other clone. That's
Have you
canon.
seen Hunter?
How is that canon?
Have you,
Because
exactly. Have you seen him?
Hunter?
Have you seen him? No, just
I'm sorry, I only have eyes
Just
for
by looking at
record.
him.
I mean,
If
like
Well, it's 'cause
Echo,
you wanna-
Echo
you wanna
is Bay
die
and
in
Echo
the
is my
act.
man, but have we seen Hunter? Like,
No, Wrecker would be very gentle and kind.
That's just listen,
He's a
guys.
himbo.
You hope.
Listen. This is off the rails completely, but Star Wars in and of itself is a giant soap opera. I mean, it's a soap opera in space.
Y'all, the
Of course,
chat's getting weird.
It's gonna be steamy as hell, man.
Dude, I hope the chat gets
The
it.
Jedi, but it's called the Jedi Sutra back then.
It is
Yes,
the
it
Jedi.
is.
All right, so
Teach me
Oh
my
more.
God, the episode.
Jocasta
After that-
News, like, if a
You
position
favor-
is
you
not in our
favor-
archive, then it does not exist.
What is it? You favor Form 4, Master Balaba. Never mind. Go ahead. Go on, please. I'm sorry.
No. No, Charlie.
Oh my god.
Okay, so Muchi turns out to be a rancor. We're gonna go back to the episode before I get into
Yeah. Hey guys, this is what you
Such a-
came here for.
A harmful screenshot for little Moochie.
I know, Moochie. Or what?
No,
deserves
he's giving
so
him a
much
scratch
more.
behind the ears there. Clearly.
Yeah.
I love her
Look,
so
he's
much.
that's the face a dog makes me scratch it behind the ears.
Oh.
I love Moochie more than I love anything in this world.
Oh, Moochie is amazing.
And just for the record, because it was going around, Muchi is not the same rancor that Luke kills.
Not the same
Oh,
rancor.
okay.
And
in-
Is
even
he
and
not?
like what kills me about that whole
Which one is
controversy that lasted like a day and a half is that
It's a
everyone's like,
controversy?
but in
Oh.
aftermath, but that same passage in aftermath says Malakili trained many rancors. So it's like the answer was
Yeah.
literally right there. People are tweeting
One
at
sentence
Pablo,
above.
Like, people, yeah, exactly. Like, relax.
Well, and even
Relax.
so, it's like let them tell a story because I want to go on the
Exactly.
journey. I want to go on
And
the journey.
how many years have happened between that? It's like people saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
Grogu goes to train with Luke. It means that he was when the Jedi Academy." Hey, how
Oh.
many years?
It's a lot of
went
years
by?
between that.
I mean, a lot of things can
But
happen.
also, think of it this way: if Muchi is still alive, then come Book of Boba Fett time.
Reunion.
That's what I said.
They have a pet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aw.
Is what is their over under? I guess they can't do it because then we know how the series ends. Omega showing up in Book of Boba Fett and them like her getting to ride Moochie again.
Look, I'm just saying that if there's a scene where Boba Fett's like, all right, let me check out my new castle. This is awesome. And he goes down there and he thinks Moochie's going to attack. And then Moochie sniffs him. And she's
Yeah.
like, oh, I know you.
What if he
Because
goes-
they
he goes-
all have the same DNA. Like,
Aw.
Lose it.
Oh, hey,
Oh my
Moochie.
god.
Good to see you, mate. Good to see you.
oi, you're that guy. That guy that beat me up.
Hey, let me give you a belly scratch.
I don't know why she also has the accent that they have, but
Yeah,
Why does she sound like Jason Statham?
Because what is
Look
Boba?
at her
Literally,
teeth.
what is Boba Fett if not Jason? Is space? Jason
she's got a
Statham?
massive underbite and messed up teeth. She's definitely an English action star of some kind.
Wait, are you saying Moochie? What?
Yeah, both of you are doing accents and you're both doing different characters.
So
Like-
Moochie.
Mushy.
Yeah,
Stop
look at
showing
that
this
tongue.
upsetting screen. Find me a
Look at
happy,
that
cute
tongue.
one. Put the one up. That one.
There
Thank
we
you.
go.
Oh,
This one, and this
look
one,
at how
Moochie looks
happy
like
they are.
a space bulldog.
What is a rancor if not a
Oh,
giant
man.
space bulldog?
I have
Agreed.
to say the design of Moochie is very much and Blast. Shout out to Blast Points. They shared a pic of the Action Fleet from the '90s Rancor set, which I had. I love that. Like it could eat like it came with a little Gamorrean and a little Luke with a bone in his hand. It would eat them, and you could open up its tail came up, and they fill out the butt. Which is
You
I
could like
assume
eat Luke Skywalker. Wait, that doesn't sound right.
you could change everything, but like I assume that's canonically. I guess I'm
You're a
Canonically,
canon junkie,
not-
Jerry.
canonically. I assume that's how Rancors poop now. Is their tail just completely like latches up and just like it all falls out. But what I love is that I used that action figure as like a baby Rancor with the
Aw.
3 3/4.
Aw,
And so it
cute.
felt like it was like a nod to like
Yeah, I
not
mean, well, that's like the
fans who
same
kinda
way
grew
that
up with that
the-
like action figure
Like
thing.
Rebels
Kind of a thing.
Yoda is the Kenner Yoda.
Exactly.
You know,
And
they
people
use
are
the
always
same thing.
talking about like, oh yeah, that's the worst Yoda. It's like, come on, man. Anyway, I digress. I just love that little. If it's true, it even has the same coloring. How it's kind of green around the shoulders, you know,
Hmm.
Mhm.
and kind of a brighter orange, kind of a brown or whatever. Look up that Action Fleet Rancor. It looks just like that, and so I thought that was a cool little just Easter egg, kind of a nod.
So, speaking of this Rancor, they deliver her to Bib Fortuna, who is having something of a renaissance right now.
Big moment for him.
Me wanna vanga.
So they mission accomplished.
everywhere
They
right now.
get the Rancor in. They find
He's
out
hot.
that Bib Fortuna's hot.
He's hot.
Would.
He's hot right now.
Oh, like he's
Go ahead
having
and
a
flip it out.
moment.
Go ahead and flip it out. Go
Okay.
ahead and flip it
I'm
out.
like, all right.
It's like in the way that Will Ferrell from Zoolander said, "Oh, he's so hot right now."
He's so
Got it.
hot right now.
So,
Yeah, because there are.
I'm not
look,
physically attracted to Bib Fortuna and his.
I
I don't
sure.
mean-
We don't judge
no
here.
shade.
Jerry
We don't
says
judge.
bitch
It's
hot.
okay if you are.
No, I'll
mean,
judge. I'll judge.
Jerry.
I
Charlie,
will
put
judge.
that on your
I just
podcast.
want to.
There is no attractive male Twi'leks except for Loden Greatstorm.
Cham
He's the only
Syndulla.
one.
I
No.
will offer up Cham Syndulla, but
The sharp teeth freaked me out a little bit too much.
it's a little
Yeah.
in the bulbous, like the head's a little more bulbous and stuff.
Just
The
makes me
women
think
are
of,
very
uh,
Or
more.
the head's bulbous.
It just makes me think of
Oh.
Rio and Solo. Does she have sharp teeth?
Yes.
Some people like sharp teeth. There you go.
I mean,
some
Martian
being-
Rose got sharp teeth.
That he does. And speaking of Martian Rowe, no, I got it. We're not doing that.
We're not talking about your shark boy.
We're not talking about my shark boy today. What we are going to talk about.
Oh my god,
Hey,
Anakin can
I've
be
never
lava
heard him
girl.
say Shark Boy.
Anakin can be the lava girl.
I was gonna say, Arzu, you're the lava girl.
How upsetting.
I'll be lava girl to his shark boy. I don't know what that entails, but I'll do it. So what we are talking about is yes. Moving on to episode 6.
Yes, girl.
Yes.
Echo once again
Ah.
demonstrating excellent parenting instincts in teaching her how to
at
safely
him.
operate a crossbow. That's not a crossbow, is it?
It's an energy bow.
It's
Energy
It's
bow.
an energy.
it's a
bow.
regular bow, but like, oh, beautiful, beautiful. I love it so much.
So they wind up having to do Sid's bidding anyway, after she was all ominous about it last week. Like, maybe you'll have to do my bidding one day. There was no maybe. They have to. So
Yeah,
those
she made
are-
that very
Mega's
clear.
face.
She made that very
Mega's
clear.
like, oh.
Omega's like, this
I,
lady
that
is
is
nuts.
my 4-year-old made that face to me the other day. I think
What did
it's
you do?
absolutely like that. What did I do?
Yeah,
She,
to
he
dirty
tried to
things
give
with
her a
back.
job to go get a joy.
Did you try to send her to Corellia? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
exactly what
Really,
happened.
yeah.
She's like, "Come on, Dad."
So they end up on Corellia looking for a tactical droid to bring to some mystery buyer, where they bump into none other than the Martez sisters,
Yes.
which
It's a
was
great
shock
reveal.
to me. Yeah,
Great
I'm
reveal.
happy because I was scared a little bit when they said Corellia that we were going to have another character from Solo a Star Wars Story this week, but gladly no, we didn't have. We had the Marta sisters.
I thought about it, and then I was like, "There's only a couple logical ways this could go because of like
Yeah.
Han and Kira's ages and stuff." I was like,
So
"It could be
fun.
Proxima,"
Yeah.
and I thought Proxima, and then I thought, you know, if you really want to do something, but this would be that's so much fan service, and this makes the galaxy so small. I thought that when they said
it
they were
would
going
have
to
been
a
endless. It would have been.
Oh yeah.
endless.
When
Oh,
they said
yeah.
they were going to
I
a
would have done it.
factory, I was like, it's going to be Han's father. That's what I thought.
Oh.
Yeah.
I actually
Oh.
thought we were gonna get like an Oliver Twist Han Solo for a split
Can I
second.
have some more?
Well, that's what they were
Yes,
going to do
exactly.
in Revenge of the Sith. Remember, there's that
Yeah.
concept art of Kid Han that
I'm
was
actually
thrown-
very glad they didn't. do that.
Thankfully
So
thrown
glad
out.
they-
Yeah.
I
I'm
am
happy.
too. And shout out to my buddy Scott at the Scotty Jero, who is in the chat right now. Like I'm living. It's
Love
a
you,
good
Scotty.
day for, it's a good day for Martez sisters stands. Let's just say
Yeah,
that.
because
Yes.
everybody that said the
Yes.
Martez sisters arc in Clone Wars Season 7 was filler, you're a moron. It was not filler. You don't understand what that meant thematically for Ahsoka. It is key to her entire arc. The Martez sisters are as key to Ahsoka's life and to the themes of Star Wars as Anakin is to her life, as the Ghost Crew is to her life, because she can't become Ahsoka the White or Ahsoka the Gray that we see in Mandalorian without them telling her how the other half lives. So then
Yeah.
to see them in this transitionary period, like that's what this
it's
what
the
the show's
only way
about.
that it's the only way she can learn empathy for other
Yes.
people. Honestly, is to actually listen to other people that
This
you're
is-
supposedly protecting.
And this is the show because, that's another thing I resent is this is Clone Wars season 8. It's not because
It's clearly not.
this is a marriage of that with the original trilogy, but really of the Imperial reign, where you look at things. I said this on Twitter. You look at things like Solo of Enfys telling Han on the beach, sort of like we're banding together. We're going to rise up. All that stuff starts with people like this, which is my whole thing that I said in our Twitter DMs about Rafa telling Hunter, like, everybody makes a choice at the end.
Yeah.
And that's the entire, there it is. Yeah. We all choose sides. That's the entire point of Star Wars. Like we're used to seeing it with young people. Rey is 1920, Luke is 19 to 23. Anakin is 19 to 23. But Hunter physically is that of 13, but he's physically a gruff man, a war-torn man. Like, you still have to make those choices.
He looks older than me, honestly. He really does look older than me. Right
Well,
now.
if they age at twice the rate, then he's in his late 20s, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Looking extra beefy.
Wow.
But-
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not
so
34.
it was just super important to have that in here because you have to sort of decide what you want to be, because they're not Clone Force 99 anymore. Like, you were only special, you were only the Bad Batch within the context of an army that doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't
So
exist.
now you're just guys. There's plenty of people in the Star Wars universe with super strength. There's plenty of geniuses.
Yeah.
There's plenty of sharpshooters. Like, you're not special anymore. So you need to find where you fit.
There you go. Agree with Nicholas. Yeah.
The
I know
Nation of
this is
Filler
like-
should have been
Yeah.
retired when the space whales and Rebels returned to feature prominently in the series finale.
Yeah. It all comes back. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, do you remember I'm not trying to relitigate Egggate. It has nothing to do with the actual egg eating. But when people said that episode was filler, and then the very next episode, oh, what happened? Frog Lady was still in the series, and her and her husband teach Grogu about the value of life in a beautiful scene when all he's known is violence the entire show, to the point where he's hiding away in his pram, and then he gets to see a baby frog being born. So then you go back to the episode
Wants to
prior
take
and tell
one
me
with
that
him.
that's filler.
episode.
You tell me that that's filler.
That's it.
Like, all filler, I want all killer, no filler. Like, you don't understand how stories are told. And also,
feel like
I would
you can
wager
only-
you also didn't grow up on network TV that was 22 episodes a season, and about 10 of them were A plot.
This is
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
better. This is so
Yeah.
much
I
better.
agree.
I feel like my only frustration, and I am like enjoying Bad Batch, like by and large, but my only frustration is this isn't network TV. This is like
Right.
streaming. So I wish they would draw the connections a little stronger.
Yes.
Because I feel like
Okay.
we know it's there because this is
Yeah.
what we do. We look at it, we make that analysis,
Yeah.
we are making connections. But I'm like, I don't know
Right.
that if this didn't have the Star Wars name on it, I don't know that I would be able to make those connections.
No.
Just because I don't think that they're
I guess it just depends on. I mean, again, a lot of it again is context. It's like the Purgle is a great example from Rebels, or you can look at something like, again, I'll go to Frog Lady. Like Frog Lady explaining to Din through the Zero droid that this is the last of my family. This is this is that, and you don't even need his face to know that she's describing his life. All that stuff pays off down the road. So like if we get to the end of the Bad Batch season and things like Echo and like his body autonomy and his personal autonomy don't come up, then yeah, that's a strike against the show. But I think that at the end of the day, it's like it needs to come together. I mean, when Clone Wars started, I thought I never hated Ahsoka the character. I thought she was really funny and charming, but I did think that it was a sloppy idea. I was like, oh, you're going to introduce this girl, what, just to kill her? Because she's not in the movie. And
Right. Back in the
So-
day before we knew
Yeah.
what
So
I
I prefer to give it the room.
or just the story team.
Yeah.
My issue, just like not to harp on it, but like comparing like the first 5 episodes of Rebels to this is like I felt like such a bigger connection to the Ghost crew. And maybe that's because the relationships were already established with them. But like
Yeah.
I don't get like exactly like what kind of friendship the Bad Batch all have with each other, or like I want like a episode that is kind of silly, like the Zeb and as they're going
Yeah.
out
the
for the
Milo run.
grocery list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I
you
think
see
that,
them-
yeah,
bonding, and then you see like Sabine and Hera and Kanan just like on the ship doing everyday things, kind of thing, just to get, you know.
With the Bad Batch is like where they're at right now is the stakes are here. So they don't have time to stop and breathe or stop and interact. Like Echo doesn't have time to freak out about his personhood being taken away twice in as many days because
the episodes are so
much
short.
going on.
I know.
Well, because the episodes are really
and also
short
because he's
so much happening. He
he's a soldier.
Yeah,
he doesn't think of personhood in those terms. And I would actually agree with you, Candace, but I would add that I think it's by design, because when you meet the Ghost crew, you have a will they, won't they that is so clearly a will they that has passionate history. You have Zeb, who wears his heart on his sleeve, and we learn of his backstory. We can see that he's the uncle of this group. We see already that Sabine is like their daughter before Ezra gets integrated. And then Chopper and Hera have this bond. That's because they are fully formed people, you know, toward the beginning of their rise. Whereas the Bad Batch have only existed here. They don't know who they are. So the characters can't convey who they are yet until they get a life. Like maybe this whole first season ends with a battle against this Rampart guy and they get Crosshair back. And then maybe season 2, the question will be, or the end of this season will be, oh, well, how do we get what Cut had? You know, how do I, maybe along the way, like somebody is like, I kind of like Wrecker designed Omega's little thing. Like maybe Wrecker's like, I want to have a house. Like they haven't had those opportunities yet.
It's one of the reasons that I say that Wrecker is so far the most well-developed of the Bad Batch, because we knew even in the Clone Wars arc, we knew that like he had a fear of heights. We knew little things about him, whereas we know very little about any of the others aside from Echo. And then through the course of these past 6 episodes, we've seen, you know, a return of his fear of heights. We've seen that he is Uncle Wrecker to Cut's kids. We've seen him be very caring and doting towards Omega. And today's episode, we saw that, you know, Hunter calmed him and he wasn't able to break through the chip. But as soon as Omega called for him, he snapped through it and fought it. Like Wrecker has been the most developed. I can't feel any of that emotional connection to any of the others so far. Like Tech is fine, but Tech has no personality outside of being an encyclopedia. Like I would like to see more episodes in these next 10 that we have where we get to see in isolation each of the clones develop something so that we can feel that connection to them. And that's what's missing. And I wish they would just add a couple more minutes on to each episode, because I mean, this was the shortest one so far, of just seeing that little more character. We're getting a lot of the big, the flash, the fun, the quest, but we're not getting the heart yet. And I think that for me, and you know, Mando was so quick at establishing the heart of it, even though we have this character who you never see their face. And I think they did really well at developing that over the first season, but it also happened a lot quicker. You know, we saw little things about him in the first 3 episodes, I'd say, of the Mandalorian, whereas we haven't seen that. And there's so many characters, and they're bringing in so many other characters that we already know. Like Caleb was such a great reintroduction in the first episode, because we see these new characters for all intents and purposes, saving a character that we already have a strong emotional connection to. But we haven't really seen that again. We haven't seen that building on the emotions we already know yet. And that's why I'm really hoping the Rex episode. The Rex episode, I'm begging them to have it be character driven and not quest driven.
Like that's what I think that the setting up of in the background of we need to get Crosshair back. I mean, to jump back to the Moochie episode, it's that was Crosshair's wrist communicator. You know, she is in a roundabout way replacing him. She's being trained to be a ranged combatant. She has his communicator. She has his share of the food. She has his share of everything. So it's this building up of, we need to get our boy back, who is essentially, you know, in a Winter Soldier scenario. You can tell when he's in the bunk that he knows something's not right, but he's not able to break through of it. He's ruthless. I mean, his execution scene at Saw's camp is one of the darkest things I've ever seen in Star Wars. And then I think that I hate to do if I was writing it, because I'm not, but I think that the Rex episode or episodes will be an amazing opportunity for that storyline, because it could be Rex saying, or Echo saying, seeing Rex again reminded me that they came back for me, and we forget Echo was also against his own will helping the enemy. It wasn't just like he was a prisoner. He was sending signals, helping slaughter his own clones. Like it was a whole thing. So
there's a lot to that.
Do you think Rex? Oh, just like really quick. Do you think Rex is like? I felt like Rex was more established as a character very early on, even like in the movie before. Is it because he's interacting with people who aren't clones, like Ahsoka and Anakin? Are we seeing like more of his personality than we would with like the Bad Batch? Like Rex instantly. Like I also read the Clone Wars novelization too, but like you get like Rex from that first movie.
I think so.
I think Rex had the advantage of interacting with characters that you already had an emotional attachment to. Yeah. So you saw him through their eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we saw
the Bad Batch with Anakin and Obi-Wan and Rex.
Yeah.
But like they were mostly there to establish them as a group. Like
that had to be a group thing just so you would kick off that season with a bang, get people interested, because as we now know because of production timelines, we know that the show was being banked before Mando and all that. So.
We were all dreading the Siege of Mandalore, and we were just like, hurry up and get over with these episodes.
I wasn't dreading it. I was looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I was just happy to get to Ahsoka. That was what I wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
But I also think that, to your point,
Bad Batch, I felt like.
To your point, Candace, like 2008 Clone Wars was also an interesting situation where, it was Dave as a first-time feature director with George running this thing, and the mission statement for a character like Rex is like he's the first ever Eisen clone. Like, yes, Cody is named in Sith, but Cody only has a scene in Sith, and it's just functional. So they had to put a lot into Rex to sell you on the idea of individualized clones overall.
Yeah.
Rex is the make or break. If Star Wars fans didn't buy Rex, that show doesn't work. Because then the next time they try to clone with personality, and the next time they try to clone with personality, people wouldn't care.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it'd just be better if it was a little less action and a little bit more characters. Not that you can't see people's character in the way they fight.
I think they honestly just need a second to breathe.
They need
and
to talk.
I understand. They need to. That's the thing, is they need to talk, and I feel like, especially about Crosshair, because like we are not super attached to Crosshair. Like, unfortunately, I really wish I was, and we've gone 3 episodes without seeing him. Like, we're not super attached to Crosshair, but like they should be. But and I get that they don't talk about it because like they don't have time. They don't want to think about it. Hunter blames himself, but like it's like every time they start, that stops. And like we are adults, we know it'll come back. But if this is for like kids watching, like. They are so worried about kids retaining information. They repeated the Bad Batch's name in order twice in like 5 minutes in the first episode, which was fine. Like, you want the 8-year-olds to remember who's who. So that's totally cool.
I remember watching that and being like, didn't they just say this? And being like, am I losing my mind?
It was like a little messy, but like I get why they did it. But
it's for kids.
And that's also the reason why you have action blocking, like that's the reason why. And again, I'm not saying I don't want more conversations. I advocate strongly for the Star Wars movie that's just My Dinner with Andre and Star Wars. Like I will take like when
My
Taika's
Dinner
movie
with
comes
Bail
out.
My Dinner with Bail Organa, please.
Exactly. Yes.
The bottle
exactly.
episode.
Yeah.
Bottle episodes are my favorite TV
when Taika's movie comes out, if there's no fighting in Taika's movie and it's just his conversations in the Star Wars galaxy,
it'll be the best Star Wars movie ever.
I would love that.
But I say all that to then say, for those children, in the same way that Resistance tells stories through its races and through its slapstick comedy and things like that, I think that you need moments like, I think that this one was actually great. I think it was the best directed of these in terms of cinema and in terms of like the actual blocking, because that factory, much like the one in Attack of the Clones, it has many levels, so you can direct upward. It reminded me of Daredevil season 2, where it was like, oh, you love the hallway fight in Daredevil season 1, well now we're going to do a stairway fight, and it was way more 3-dimensional. So you had like Wrecker coming down, and then Rafa like, oh, I like him, so kids can be like, oh, that's that one. I love grappling hooks. So when Hunter busted that out to bring down the supports and everything, like it really showed. Again, Tech always has his moment of,
And also,
well, if we do this,
and also the dad joke from Echo, that was
legendary.
That was.
Can we talk wait, before we get to like,
Go
can we
ahead,
talk about Wrecker
And his headache.
and his
No.
headache?
Good soldiers.
Do I have
will
to, Candace? I'm sorry.
It's not over, is what I'm saying. This is coming back.
No.
It's coming back.
I was a big advocate for it. I thought that I was like, I think we're over. I don't know if you guys saw, like, I don't think that it means anything. I was like, it's just setting up that he sets up Omega's room, and then we got the next episode, and clearly something's going on, and even in this one, even more. And so
I still think that somehow it's a red herring. Now, not that it's not happening to him, because this episode clearly shows that it is.
Right.
But I think that, either next episode or the next couple, he'll address it and say, guys, I felt the urge to do X, Y, and Z. I wanted to fight you. I wanted to hunt you down. And
none of them are Jedi, though.
I wanted to. Well, it brings us to the end of this episode, where I firmly believe that is a Jedi, and I will call my shot here and say that it's Quinlan Vos, because Quinlan survived Order 66.
That's bold.
Because in the Vader, in the Charles Soule Vader comic, Vader and the Grand Inquisitor are looking at that screen of 66 survivors, and Quinlan Vos is one of them.
Alden Diaz, you are a bold one. Sorry, that's supposed to be.
I think it'll be him, because you need somebody that, like, people like Bail Organa came to mind, but I don't think that Trace and Rafa and Bail have the same style. You need somebody with a bit of rough and tumbleness to them. Yeah, a little punk rock.
Maybe he wants somebody a little rough and tumble to do the rough and tumble stuff his spies can't do.
You had me at punk rock. You'd
hope. But
I'll take that.
Yeah, so I think that the Wrecker thing, like, will get resolved way more peacefully than we think. And I still think that the shocker of the season, and I have no evidence to support this, but the fact that Tech has not had a character arc, I think Tech turns. And you're so distracted by Wrecker that when that gets resolved, you're like, oh, we're good, because Wrecker can be defeated by tripping him into a bar, as we saw with Fennec. So I think that Tech being evil would be the most dangerous thing ever, considering how much he knows. So
I know,
right? That's true. All right, so Alden kind of brought it up, but who do y'all think is that Trace and Rafa are talking to at the end?
At first, I thought it was Bail, but yeah, Quinlan Vos would be not bad.
I want to be Darth Maul.
Oh,
yeah, I was thinking Maul too.
Well, you guys say that. Go ahead.
They picked it.
Maul doesn't like the Empire.
Well, that's the thing. So, like, you have to pick a side, but like, there's not only one side that doesn't like the Empire.
Yeah.
Right.
No, there's not.
Well, and if you notice, Trace and Rafa in their episodes of the Clone Wars and in Bad Batch, we're touching solo locations. They went to Corellia in this one. Back there, they did a Kessel run.
A Dryden Boss.
Yep.
In Dryden, they are very much very much intertwined with the solo
They're Crimson
story.
Dawn. They're Crimson
The
Dawn.
second thing is that it could actually be Dryden.
It could be Dryden as well.
And one of the people I thought. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Megan.
No, I was just gonna say, like, whoever it is has a cape or a hood on their thing, because if you look at the
cloak or
hologram, there's a hood. So you have to go through the list of characters who would be wearing a hood. And I was like, I don't see Bail wearing a hood. I mean, maybe
he wears white hood.
Fashion.
Dryden has all kinds of
maybe it's in fashion at that time.
I'm just saying
they're
that
doing it.
It's hopefully it's maybe Dryden Boss, and it's Paul Bettany voicing him.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Oh.
And the other thing is, like,
incredible.
the other, like, the business side of it too. Like, I don't like to be like, well, the behind the scenes means this, because a lot of the times that gets way overblown.
Yeah.
But when you look at this show, like, they had the Caleb Dune animation asset, they used it. They had the Trace and Rafa animation assets, they used them. They have the Dryden one sitting there in the computers. So it's like, we've already spent the money on making him.
We know how long this has been in development, and they went ahead and made that asset anyway.
I mean,
he didn't talk, he didn't do anything, but
for
they made
one shot in Solo, they had him standing there. I mean, in Siege of Mandalore. So
yeah. whether or not we get solo characters in this, I mean, Dryden exists, and very clearly, the Bad Batch are getting into that smuggler atmosphere, that
Territory,
world.
yeah.
I'm just
So
saying,
that's just gonna.
we're already seeing solo stuff.
I mean, well, no,
Yes!
because here's what I thought. I was like, what if they're working for? Here's the thing. My mind went to Beckett for a minute because I'm like, because it's a smuggler. Maybe he's trying to get it because it's like to sell to someone for a higher, price or whatever. Not that he cares about anything.
I don't think
I
he's
would like
subtle enough to convince them he cares because
I
they
don't-
think
well,
they're doing
that's-
something
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Well,
I
and
don't
we-
think
I don't think Beckett's subtle enough.
Oh,
for
I'm
that.
with you now. Absolutely.
I think Maul would be the perfect one because Maul is like
Yeah.
the same chaotic energy as the two of them, and
I honestly haven't thought that. Honestly,
they
That's
understand
very
like
good.
you can't play by the rules to take down this empire because they
Right.
see like the other side of things.
I was very that Charlie Day gif today of him like
Oh,
with
yeah.
the wall of red.
Yeah.
Because what I didn't notice was R7. I didn't notice this, but Scotty pointed out to me that's Ahsoka's droid, right?
It's a different color.
Is it a different color?
Well, it
Yeah.
changes colors in 2 different shots. There's a mistake in the episode.
Actually,
So-
I
Is
it
think
really?
it's lighting. I think it's a lighting thing because both of the chairs hang on. I'm going to add it and pull it up.
Yeah,
I
pull it
just
up.
Well,
took this.
because I mean, for a second I was like, oh, maybe it's Ahsoka, but then I've rewatched it a couple times for coming here with the
So
subtitles.
it's lighting.
They
Just
say,
look at the
well-
chairs.
Oh yeah,
Well, it's not
Okay.
necessarily, Jerry, it's not necessarily that they say he, because we know like from Rebels when Ahsoka is speaking to Hera, like she's got her voice mask and all that. But
Yeah.
at this point, like weeks after the Siege of Mandalore,
That
she's
would-
in hiding.
that would
She's in
be-
hiding for about a
He's
year.
in
Right.
hiding. Yeah,
Before
it's
Bail
Beskar.
finds-
No,
It's
no.
Beskar, so-
exactly. But
And
here's
also-
where go ahead.
Like,
Unless.
well, like
Unless it's the Ahsoka novels canon is out.
And that's the thing. Like we've already
I don't think
seen,
so.
we've already
Yep.
seen that Dave doesn't really care about novelizations, just like George never cared about novelizations. I mean, I'm talking about the Caleb thing.
He did learn from
it
him.
could
so.
be possible, but one thing that I
Yeah.
think is that it's really valid when they said you have to choose sides, and we are like saying, okay, Empire, anything against the Empire would be a rebellion, which is not necessarily true. So
Right.
Correct.
that would be
Right.
Yeah, look
valid.
at Saw. Saw is not part of the rebellion. If Saw, we didn't just see Saw. Saw's not organized yet enough for that.
But I do
Yeah.
like the idea that it's a Jedi because then we can get the follow through with good soldiers to follow orders.
Exactly.
But do we
That's a
want
good
to
way-
see? I wouldn't mind like having the series without Jedi in it, though. But
I don't
Right.
know
at
if
the
we
same
can
time,
escape that though. With
Here-
the
yeah,
here's-
true.
arc
Here's
of
where
that.
I am firmly landing right now, if I may.
Okay, Jared.
Do it.
I think it's
Do it.
Rex.
Do it.
I think this is how Rex comes in because clearly I think that Ahsoka is connecting Rex with these sisters, which is
Is he a
why
cloak
that
man, though?
is he what?
Is he a cloak man?
I don't think
though?
they'd hide him though because he's in the trailers.
Yeah, because
well-
he's in the trailer.
He's
But
in the
hide
trailer,
who
but
he's talking to.
But I think in this moment for the reveal, because we're very clearly coming to Wrecker's got something going on. He's like, they say, I think you would want to know about these clones without chips. I love them all and all that stuff, but my brain is kind of going with the evidence we've seen so far. What
Yeah.
if this is like, maybe we get that Rex episode sooner than we think, right?
What?
Like maybe he finds them through the Martez sisters
But
and
would
goes,
they?
let me
would
make
they-
sure your chips are.
Would they
out of
speak
there.
to Rex so impersonally about clones though, and not be like, "We found some of your brothers"?
I mean, if
said
they
it
wanted to be a
so-
bad
Yeah.
surprise, maybe.
Well, if we go down the road of like Star Wars and impersonal dialogue, then
True.
I mean we could end up like my favorite. This is an aside. My favorite instance of impersonal dialogue in the history of movies, not just Star Wars,
Oh no.
is Force Awakens, where they were so committed to revealing that his name is Ben in the third act that you have two parents just say our son, our son, our son for the first 2 acts of a movie. No
And then
parents
Snoke's
talk
like-
like that.
Which doesn't
No
happen
parents
unless
talk
they're
like
in
that.
trouble.
Young
Father Han
Solo.
Solo.
Young
Yeah.
Solo.
In the hands of
Okay,
your
wait.
father.
What if the person Trace and Rafa were talking to is the same person Fennec was talking
That's
to?
what I was just thinking.
I know.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
And this person's
my
playing
God,
like
more-
5D chess.
I mean, I love
Yeah,
all
as
this.
long as it's not-
Don't take my Don't take my basic answer and think that that's
It's
I'm married.
I will-
to.
No,
And see, he's a Palpatine.
Palpatine.
He's clearly a Palpatine.
Well,
I don't want
Palpatine
Palpatine.
likes
Omega is a
the-
Palpatine clone because she has the same
Palpatine was already in the
haircut
show.
from Phantom
Jerry.
Menace.
Palpatine likes
I
clothes.
hate that. I hate that. I'm
Palpatine
sorry, I'm
likes
sorry.
hoods.
It was
look, here's my
Omega.
He's
Omega's
very
Omega's
clearly-
raised mom.
Very clearly a robe man.
here are my tiers. I think that safe guess is somebody like a Bale to, I would say, Dryden. Bold guess, Quinlan Voss. Galaxy
give you
brain
that.
level guess to tie it in with Solo again. When they meet Enfys Nest, don't freak out. I know she's not old enough. When they meet Enfys Nest, she says, "I wear the helmet like my mother did before me."
I wrote
Which is
down
what I
Enfys' mother.
always
I wrote down
say
Enfys'
on
mother.
Twitter that Enfys' mother being there on Savareen at the birth of this rebellion where everyone had their tongues cut out and by the Empire in the early days.
Oh Lord. Can you imagine that scene?
Oh,
That's not
no.
gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. But
That was just making me think, like, are we eventually going to see like a young Jen Erso with Saw?
Saw?
Because
You could, for sure.
there's a whole scene
This-
in the book when
Yeah,
Jen
Solo.
meets
And Enfys crossover,
Enfys.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
this whole show
It's made
and
Solo
I-
too.
and I mean it's just a basic, like, for a canon junkie like me, and I mean all of us, honestly. I just claimed the moniker. It's not mine, but like this is a canon junkie show. It touches everything. I mean, you've got like Clink from a couple weeks ago. It was like a little huggy boy from Resistance and stuff.
Dude,
I mean,
I would
whole-
die for Clink.
I mean, every
On
single
air,
we've
right
had
now.
Rebel stuff. We've had dude, yes, right now, kill me right now for
No.
Clink, honestly.
Please,
Oh,
nobody die on air.
We've touched every era almost
Yeah.
of Star Wars storytelling in Bad Batch alone.
And that's
I'm
the
here
thing.
for it. I love it.
That's what Star Wars is now, post sequel trilogy. Not that the sequels didn't do it. I mean, the sequels meshed a lot of new, especially
Right.
in 8, with like Canto Bight as a prequel setting, but it was also original. It was birthed for that movie. I was talking about this on an episode of Octo Radio, a Star Wars podcast, the other day, where you had this situation in Solo where it's like, yes, the Maul thing is a great third act surprise, but they could have done Jabba, they could have done Boba, they did Maul in a movie.
They could
about
have done
Han.
something completely safe.
They could have done something completely safe, and they did Maul as if to say to audiences, "We told you the animated stuff counted. If you didn't
Yeah.
watch it, that's on you."
Do you know how many texts and calls I got from Star Wars
Same
fans
here.
who knew I was a
Same
nerd
here.
and be like,
Like,
how
oh,
is
didn't
he
he die?
alive?
Is that the same guy?
Is this before
Like-
Phantom Menace?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like
yeah, I got a lot of that.
all
No,
Star
honey,
Wars now-
honey, no.
all Star Wars now is about marrying eras. Like, that's why The Mandalorian has, yes, it's the aesthetic of Boba Fett, but his ship is so clearly a prequel. We get told that it is, but it's a prequel, like Doug Chang design, where it's got
Episode.
Bo-Katan in live action. You had Bo-Katan in a scene with Luke Skywalker in live action. And like,
That
we
was
take that for
awesome.
granted
Oh,
because
don't make me cry. Don't
Because
make
they
me
didn't interact.
we take that for
Oh,
granted,
God.
and they didn't interact, but it's like that is a marriage of prequel, animation, original, but then like
Because
brand new characters.
A few months before, we saw her in the same room with Anakin Skywalker before the Siege
Yeah.
of Mandalore. That was like,
Yeah. And like my joke is always like Bo standing in the back of the room, like, didn't your master used to sleep with my sister? Like, just like thinking it like, I'll talk to you.
That
about
guy
later."
reminds me of the Jedi who used to sleep with my sister. Or something.
Yeah.
like,
just vaguely,
He
but
reminds me of my nephew.
Sounds like him.
oh.
like I'm just saying. We'll talk about.
that,
talk
dude,
about- I don't want to crush dreams, but we'll talk about that off air. But yeah, it's just
Sizzle.
it's an interesting situation for sure, where all Star Wars now is that in a lot of ways. Like, we're getting finally the Kenobi show, and the big lead announcement was it's going to have Hayden. We're past now. I'm a fan of this era only, and this era only.
Oh, no.
It's just
all
not a
one
thing
story.
anymore.
They'll
Like, I
tell
wouldn't be
us something we'll
surprised.
try.
I would not be surprised
Episodic
if
storytelling.
Bad Batch. Yeah,
They're
exactly.
relentless.
I
The
wouldn't be
gatekeepers are
surprised if
relentless, but
I wouldn't be surprised if Bad Batch included a character like Seer Junda, from Jedi Fallen Order, or somebody
yeah.
like that who's
Cal
also
Kestis, my love,
Cal
please show
Kestis.
up in
Cal Kestis.
that would be
animation.
incredible.
If you had
Why
Cal
not?
show up in animation and let Cameron
Show up
come in
more.
and Yeah.
Show more novel characters
even
as well.
or even
please.
Maz
I'm
Kanata.
sorry. Now I'm just like, oh,
I want Maz in the High Republic so bad.
man,
because she's been around 1,000 years. The same cast.
incredible.
So like
chiseled Maz with chiseled Yoda. Can you imagine that? Oh,
No.
man.
I want
No.
Maz and Stellan.
No chiseled
we
Yoda.
found,
Not
I
like that. Not
want
like
it's
that. Not
Yoda's
like that.
parents. We found Grogu's parents. It's Maz and Yoda.
and Stellan Gios. Definitely.
Maz would be
Got it
all
on.
over Stellan Gios.
Yeah.
No, she's
I would
into
be all
My
over
boyfriend.
Gios.
She's into
She's-
Wookiees.
She's into Wookiees.
Yeah, but
She'd be like-
Briaga's a young man.
I was like,
I just feel like Maz
Her
kind of
history
away
is
from
Stellan
Brianna.
for now.
for a lady who runs
Yeah.
like 1,000-year-old castle bar. I think she likes what she likes, man. She likes a lot of things. I feel like.
She knows.
I feel like she's reluctant about Stellan Gios till he shows up and starts being a history nerd all over her castle, and she's like, "Hey, but maybe this."
Would you like to
Archie's
come with
really
me up
thinking
here?
about this?
This is
Sorry,
me
that was
projecting because I adore Stellan Gios, but
Oh,
anyway.
Stellan.
That was a terrible.
Everyone's going to enjoy him so much.
Look, ladies. I
Yeah.
know, not you ladies. The ladies watching. I'm looking into the camera here. I know you all love Elzar because he's moody and has visions and like
Hey,
likes
it's
to
not
bend
just
the
the
rules a little
ladies.
bit.
Shirtless visions like
Alden,
Anakin in Attack of
It's
the
not
Clones.
just
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
ladies who like him.
Okay, that's fair.
A
But I'm
lot of
telling you
people.
right now, Stellan Gios, if Avar was real, I would go walk right up to her and say, "Girl, what are you doing? Stellan's right there."
I know.
What are you doing? Come on, Ava.
Alden,
on,
he
girl.
tried, and Stellan's like, "You're not a history book," and it's
That's
like, okay,
true.
Elzar then.
She legit like walked in like in How I Met Your Mother, like undid the freaking trench coat, and it's just like lingerie, and Stellan's like, "That's nice."
Damn it, Stellan. Damn it,
Did
Stellan.
not notice. Okay, so this went way off the rails again. So I think this is a good time to wrap things up. So, Candace, where can everybody find you online?
You can find us at thegeekywaffle.com, geeky_waffle on Twitter, the Geeky Waffle on all things, including our Patreon, if you want to watch Waffles After Dark, where we get syrupy.
So syrupy. You can find me on Twitter at Maggie of the Town. You can also find me on YouTube at Let's Talk About Star Wars and over at the Outer Rim Beacon podcast.
Okay, you can find me on Twitter at Norhal. You can also find me on YouTube, Nor-Hal. Basically, acoustic covers and also Medium, posting, ranting about pop culture and such.
Yeah, you can find me on my Star Wars podcast, Octo Radio, where I do Star Wars interviews. We just had Dan Zer on from Coffee with Kenobi. Nick Tierce is coming up. We have Kara DJ, who does the wonderful zine, the Larger World zine, which is wonderful. She's coming up. Of course, Tori Fox's show is also on that feed. Her third season's coming up. That's on Droids. Really excited for that because she's the actual talent, and I just sort of make it happen. In behind the scenes capacity. There's also the One and Done Film Club. Our episode that's about to come out is on the Scary Movie franchise, because you got to throw a ridiculous one in there. But then we're gonna do the prequels, and then you can find me working for iHeartRadio on WBGG Big 105.9 South Florida's classic rock, and also on Totally 93.9 all 90s all the time.
Now I'm gonna have to download that app and find you on there just so I can listen to your non-Star Warsness and stuff. So there you go.
I still get it in. I was literally on a morning show this
That's
morning
okay.
for all of Miami talking about why George Lucas should not get control of the franchise again.
Wow. Okay.
Whoa.
Hey, none of us can escape in our normal lives. We're
No, we
basically
can't.
done for. But if you want, Star Wars talk and randomness, you can find me every Thursday on the Bombadcast, but with my buddy at the Scotty J-Ro. Scotty J-Ro, I believe, is in the chat still. I don't know. He was in there for a little bit. He might have left after we started talking about Trace and Rafa, but that's a whole nother thing. Just ask him about it at the Scotty J-Ro. Go get him. Love you, buddy. But you can also follow me on Twitter at the Canon Junkie, where I have a lot of random thoughts and stuff. I talk about ADHD and Star Wars and fun stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to coming on to Waffles After Dark. Because
We're
me
going to
too.
do hot Disney dads.
I want to
Get
be.
invited.
Oh,
Ooh.
can I?
Look.
I am a hot Disney dad
If
myself. and would
Mufasa
love
is
to
not
join.
number one on this list, then it should be an invalid list.
Why is Mufasa's
Mufasa.
ASMR channel not going viral by now? I mean,
Okay,
come on.
but the
Oh my God,
other
okay, you can
one,
find me. You can find me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Go ahead.
not going down this Mufasa rabbit hole. You have to subscribe to our Patreon to hear it. So you can find me
Patreon.com/the
waffle at Arzu Amin at RZD2.com and hosting Space Waffles on the Geeky Waffle Network. So we will see you all here, same time in 2 weeks.
And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling like there might be something new coming later this month.
Yeah, something maybe on the
Ooh.
13.
On the 13th.
13 is my lucky number.
I love
Oh,
the
I know
13
what
goes
this
to
is.
Halloween.
I'm clear on the 13th.
I know what this
okay,
is
good
because
job.
I was told about it a long time ago.
I don't know, and I'm
Well,
just
let's
enjoying the
have it.
sizzle.
People know,
I'm enjoying
Maggie.
the sizzle.
It's the Maggie. Maggie, it's your thing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
gonna,
don't
I'm
know
not gonna
about
say
you.
what it is.
We don't know what's going on.
So keep an
Yeah.
eye on the Geeky Waffle Twitter feed and you will find out.
Yeah. There's actually 2 new shows coming out soon. So,
There are.
uh-huh.
Wow.
I'll drink to
All
that.
right.
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah. Cheers.
Okay.
Here we go. I'm on
Good
water
night,
now.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Wow. Bye.
Bye.